So, any questions from the audience?
My name is Scott Spicer. I'm from the Youth Leadership Institute, and as you probably know, the City Council just recently adopted a social host accountability ordinance to crack down on underage drinking parties in the city. With that said, do you think it's a priority to invest in youth and issues affecting youth, such as underage drinking? If so, how do you plan to do that?
Greg?
Well, anyone that says they don't want to invest in youth is crazy and has no business running for any public office. I think two of us have demonstrated our commitment to youth by being on the boards of school boards, Damon and I. I've been on, as I said, the college board for 18 years. Specifically on the social host ordinance, I support it. It seems absolutely appropriate. I'm sure some parents will object, saying, how can we be held liable for something we didn't know about, had no responsibility for, even my kids were innocent, the party was crashed. I'm sure other parents think they're doing the responsible thing by having them drink in their house where they can monitor and control it. All of those arguments, I think, are outweighed by the need for parents to keep tighter control on kids, to keep them from drinking if at all possible, because otherwise it results in death, not only of those kids, but who knows who all else on the road. So I support the social host ordinance generally, and investing in youth particularly. I'd like to work more closely with youth organizations like yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
I'm committed to youth because I serve on the board of directors of the Marine Conservation Corps, which is right here in the canal area, where we hire many youth who are having difficult times in their lives. We have charter schools, so we're trying to educate them, give them job skills, and we're being very successful at that. And many of those folks went on to better lives and better employment. I think not to invest in the young people of this community is a travesty, and I think they have a tremendous amount of resources. I don't know that we provide the correct types of recreation for them that they may need, and so when you don't have something to do, you sort of get in trouble. And I think we have to provide forms of recreation for our youth. We have to give them support. We have to understand what their life difficulties are and how to work with them and provide them with all the support necessary, because if not, then we're not doing our job as having a diverse community.
Well, I owned the Silver-Faced Lark 2 years ago, my father and I. I have 7 kids, and none of them have been arrested for anything that I know of, so I think it's up to the parents to try to help their kids.
Damon?
Well, I've had a strong focus on youth, both as a dad of 2 daughters, hard to believe I have a high school daughter at this point myself, but also as a school board member, just really focusing on education programs, including one issue that's important, I know, to this community as well, and that's closing the achievement gap in Marin. That's something I would like to continue to focus on, even as a council member. I also have been a board member of the Marin YMCA, and one of my big focuses has been to raise money for youth programs, youth in government, at-risk kids, and certain programs. I think it's essential for a healthy community that we do that. And on your specific question about that ordinance, I also support that.
So the next question, will you support to ban leaf blowers in San Rafael, as many other towns have done? So, Bob?
I own one myself. And I know when my neighbor uses one, I'm irritated by the noise, and I'm sure he's irritated when I use mine. I know Belvedere does not allow leaf blowers. I don't know. I'd have to really study it, because to know more about leaf blowers and to know what the decibel levels are. Mine's quiet. But before I would pass an ordinance that would prohibit leaf blowers, I need to do some research on that one.
Okay, so Dick?
I have a leaf blower, but I don't bother me at all because my wife does it when I'm at work.
Okay. Those?
I need to research the issue.
Thank you. Greg?
I actually have very strong feelings about leaf blowers because the #1 leaf blower opponent I know is my wife, and she actually just sent me a long email this afternoon. I told her, there's no way this is going to come up tonight. Here we are. Thank you for replying to me. I think they drive everybody crazy, and I think they ought to be banned. I think that they do not, contrary to popular belief, they do not save time. They do not save energy. They put tons of pollutants in the air, blowing dust and carcinogens around. Yes, it may save a little bit of human energy. You won't have expended as much energy when you use a leaf blower compared to when you've used a rake. But you'll be in better shape after you've used the rake. And everybody will be much more peaceful, and everybody will be much happier. And so the reasons are overwhelming. Santa Barbara put it on the ballot recently, and it passed 54%. And I think we ought to do that here in San Rafael. I don't know if that's my first-year agenda, but very soon it will be on my agenda.
Thank you. So, any questions from the audience?
You know what? I think in that statement you can also say that it supports employment because the people will have a job,
More
so they're
people
making more hours. Y le digo que podemos decir en su statement que también apoya el trabajo porque toma más horas para jalar la basura.
And they'll be in better shape, raking than if they are blowing.
The same people use leaf blowers that would be
That's
raking too.
true.
Las mismas personas que usan las sopladoras, but more hours.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you get a chance to answer that one?
Yeah, I would need to
Yeah.
research it more. I mean, specifically, there might be some better environmental alternatives to look at. And, I personally go for the elbow grease, rake approach. But it's something I'd be willing to research.